Hello, welcome to Madame After Midnight. This is his podcast where we talk about life and its many pursuits of sustainable happiness. I'm your host, Madame Donut. Now, I always come with a warning, okay? I often talk about things that makes me hungry or horny or both, and then sometimes I get in trouble. But please don't you worry, I'm really generally harmless. I'm excited about today's episode. I couldn't pass up the opportunity to have some friends who are in town to be on the show. You might recognize them from a famous show on Bravo called Top Chef, right? So, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my guests, Chef Spike Mendelsohn and Chef Marcel Vigneron.
Miso, this is Honey, and together we are Miso Honey.
Oh my God. This is totally unscripted, you guys.
She's so yummy.
Funny story, remember when we got those donuts the other day? You described every donut,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, Miso Honey.
Yeah, that's the only thing you remember.
And then, literally 5 minutes later, same thing. You described those donuts to Marcel.
And to Marcel, same exact response.
Exactly.
Miso
Honey.
That's why you're friends, right?
Yes.
Now tell me about how you guys met on Top Chef. Is that right? Or you knew each other
No,
from before?
yeah.
Yeah,
we
no,
actually met culinary school.
Yeah, we met in a bar.
Yep.
Not
Like-
in school, so you met at a bar.
The
While going to-
Hobnobbin.
Hobnobbin.
Or
Or was it
the one-
Storkies? I think it was Storkies. Playing pool.
Playing pool.
That was
Playing
in CIA.
CIA.
Yep.
Yeah, we met at Storkies.
Back in the day. Not to be confused with the FBI.
And
That's
it
the
was-
I
Food,
always say that
Food
too.
and Beverage
Yeah.
Institute. CIA is the Culinary Institute of
Yeah.
America. It's,
And
you
it's
know,
not that
New York,
secretive,
upstate.
though.
Yeah.
It was literally, I think it was almost like a, did we just become best friends moment
Yeah.
kind of thing?
Do you like throwing frisbee? You know?
Yeah, that's what we talked about. We talked about throwing frisbee.
So we played
made-
frisbee
And
yesterday.
we basically made gnocchi and,
Yeah.
and
Became friends.
became friends.
Now,
Yep.
did you know you were going to be on Top Chef on the same season?
He was first season,
We
though.
did
Oh, you
find
were-
that
you
out
were in the second
eventually.
season.
Separate
Whoa.
seasons.
Oh, there was
So it was
somebody else that
season
you had a
2,
bromance
season
with.
4,
I have,
and
yes.
then
Yes,
I have
bromance.
many bromances.
Whore.
season
A
2,
bromance
4,
for guys.
and then we also did. Was it All Stars or something?
That's
or-
what it was that I was thinking
It was
that
like
you
a
were.
reunion.
Yes, we were
show.
All Stars.
All Stars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was epic. Did
Yeah.
you happen to catch the end of that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
The best part of All Stars was actually when we were
we
both
go down in history as the most disruptive duo
It's
on any finale.
I think
ever.
I think they thought twice about sequestering the contestants after you get eliminated. After Spike and I,
Definitely.
we
We
were
actually
What did you do?
we went into a
After the show, or-
we went into a container and like covered our mics and came up with a plan because we were so mad that they had like put us against us for the storyline because we were like
Yeah.
best friends. They're like, we're gonna make them compete to the death,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we were like, fuck that shit. So we came up with this plan and we were like, we're two bros and we're gonna plate together.
Played it up on the same dish. So they had to like judge us together because normally they separate us.
Yeah. And production was like, wait,
How
what's
do we?
happening?
Oh,
It's
that's
never been done
funny.
before in Iron Chef
and they were
history.
so angry, and they were upset.
Yeah.
And the judges were upset. Like
it goes down in history though, because we put it on the same plate, and so then they
But
they
then
had
they,
to.
of course, they could. But they still keep
They
inviting
sent me
you
home.
back.
They sent
Yeah.
me home.
They
But,
sent me
yeah.
home.
My dish was better that time. Now, not that way, but that was no. But I was actually referring to the Top Chef days, the All Stars, when we got sequestered and we actually had both been eliminated. We got booted off the show, but they keep you for like another month because they don't want to send you back home. Because if they send you back home, then your friends know like you're supposed to be gone for a month and you're back in a week. It's
So
like
they just
it
put
didn't
you up
do
in the
very
same
well.
hotel and.
So we would sneak out every night.
We wreaked havoc.
It was
on
like
we had like handlers, and they
What does that mean, handlers?
like
we
they're
like
very-
blackmailed
people
our
are-
handlers to like take us out at
People
night.
are very handsy. Yeah.
This is what a handler
They're
is.
called wranglers. We had cast wranglers.
wranglers.
And so they're basically like responsible
To make
for us.
sure
but we
that
would
you
like
don't
climb
go-
out the window. It was like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. We were like,
Dude, we
we
were
would
out.
just go out.
And
we saw
actually-
Andy one night.
Yeah, I was about to say one of the funniest things was we went out and we went to this party.
It was like ZZ Top or
And,
something.
yeah, and we were sitting in there, and Andy and what's his name? Was it the news anchor?
The news anchor, yeah.
Cooper.
CNN, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, they were both out because they were dating back in the day.
They were dating back then.
Yeah.
This was like
Yes?
before.
Sorry, I don't know.
I mean, I think they still are.
I don't know.
not
Maybe
many.
it's
Cooper
maybe
and who?
Anderson
Bravo?
Cooper.
Oh, yes.
You know, Mr. C.
Yeah, yes.
And Andy Cohen. Imagine
Andy
like
Cohen,
the
yeah.
Oh.
And
Watch
like
what happens.
he was like he saw us in the bar and he was like so excited to see
Spike,
Marcel.
Marcel,
What's
Spike,
up?
what are you guys doing?
And then like you could see it. And he's like,
it registered.
What
He was
are
like,
you
you guys aren't
guys
even supposed to be.
doing?
You're supposed to be shooting a show. Like,
yeah.
So everybody knew that you were supposed to be in the show. So then they knew that you were eliminated. Is that what it is?
no,
Like,
nobody actually figured
Listen.
it out. We just saw Andy.
They just knew that
But
you-
it was just
that was
we.
the time we went to the box like almost every night. You
So-
remember the box
The box?
In New York?
No, I'm sorry. See, that's
Oh,
why
man,
I-
it's
the
just like
boxes.
it's like a
You're
lie.
all about the box.
It's
Okay.
like
It's a burlesque. It's a
show.
burlesque show.
Oh, I love burlesque.
It's a burlesque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this
like,
little
club.
like box, you know, with like balcony seating.
Yeah.
It's
When
like,
did they open though? Because I feel like the last time I went
They've
to
been
New York
open
was
for
like a-
years.
Long time.
And I just confirmed they are reopened since
Yeah.
post-pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that would definitely be a kind of place I would go to because I actually have a lot of friends. I had some previous guests here who run a burlesque show here in Maui. So,
Oh, yeah?
Oh, cool.
And they keep inviting me, but
Yeah.
like not yet.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Wait, I'm
Not
waiting
yet.
for my moment.
I know. Yeah, but yeah, I kind of want to. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Madame.
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 So wait. Okay, let's just go
Oh,
back.
this
'cause
coffee
this
is
is
Madame
deli-
Chef.
this coffee is
Chef
delicious.
Chef
by the way.
Madame.
Chef Madame. Yeah, that's right.
I like
Have you
it.
tried this coffee? Oh.
It's yeah, I told them to hold
is
their
delicious.
Well, yeah, it was actually your idea. You're not left-handed.
don't hold my coffee with my left hand, so it's a little bit more difficult.
But
Are you
my
not
face-
ambidextrous? Is it ambidextrous or is it ambidextrous?
Okay.
But so Top Chef, just going back to that, like how did you get in Top Chef? Is this something that like you have to apply for at the time? 'Cause
Why don't
it's
you tell
kind of-
your story and
Yeah.
I can tell mine.
Yeah. So for
Great story.
For
So,
me,
the way
it was.
The way I
And then what happened was, hey man, I was in the middle of my story. No, so
He's
I was,
famous in
yeah,
Jakarta.
yeah, the,
Yeah,
the,
so famous.
Long story longer. I was actually just at a food show in Vegas. I was working there, working at Robichon at the time. I was at a food show. I was with Hung actually, Hung Nguyen, and met this guy, Michael Pollan. He had this food and beverage magazine out
Right,
there,
yeah.
and he was just like, "Oh, you'd be great for this new cooking show, you know, called Top Chef." And I was like, "Nah, I don't think it's for me." And he's like, "That's exactly why you need to go on the show." He was like, "You don't even want to do it." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, no, I'm like a chef's chef. I'm not like
Yeah.
a TV chef.
Right.
I actually like do this for a living. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's perfect." He was like, "I'll introduce you to the casting coordinators." And I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not waiting in some cattle call. I was like, I'm not just like gonna go to some like open thing." And
Yeah.
he's like, "No, I'll just send you directly to them." He's like, "They're
nice.
perfect." And it was this Danielle and Randy. So I went in, and I remember I dressed up, and I had like a suit on. You know what I mean? I had my resume. I was all like
Like a job
professional, like a job interview. And I went in there and interviewed them. And I felt pretty good about it. You know, it was fun. I was, they were super.
Say? Like
they're-
dishwasher.
I think at that time.
At that time.
I think I was calling myself an entrepreneurial
Oh,
gastronomer. I was an entrepreneurial gastronomer. Yeah, that's what
I
I was.
like it.
Yeah, or
Way ahead of your
gastronomist.
time. Way ahead of your time.
Gastronomer because I made up a word, right? Because
Yeah.
it's not actually, it's gastronome or whatever. But I just thought gastronomer was a little bit cooler. It was like an
Yeah, it's
astronaut.
like exactly.
So that was, I think, what my business cards read. But I was working at Robichon. I was just a
that's how you
master
got in?
cook, and that was no. So I was actually the relief contestant. So I think there was 13 of us. I think I was the 14th.
like a fluffer or
I was a
Yes.
fluffer. I was like
That's
there.
actually what he did.
I was,
he relieved
I was like the encased
all
guy.
the contestants. So
Yeah.
right before they cut like on camera to like the quick fire when you're about to go. Marcel comes in from the crowd,
'Cause I-
reliefs all of the contestants, and then they shoot the
Little
show.
baby bird.
And that's how
Trimming.
actually that's the secret of food television is to keep the chefs
Yeah, I get my
super
tweezers.
calm and
you know.
relieved
Yeah,
to
yeah.
concentrate
It's a
on the
very-
I get my
food.
tweezers out for Spike.
He's over- But you know, I actually, you know, when I saw Marcel on the show on season 2, right?
Season 2, yep.
Because I had the same feelings about going on the show.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm a chef. I'm the chef of the chef. I'm a chef. Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
throw my career away.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
oddly,
Especially
like,
if you,
odd.
after I had already gone, you saw what I did. You
Yeah,
were like, "That's
yeah. I was
terrible."
like, I'm not gonna go.
Not
be
doing
like
that.
A villain, right?
It's
But
gonna be
actually,
different for me.
actually, it was reverse. I was like, oh man, like, you know, because I grew up in the industry, so I've been, you know,
Yeah.
like
Cooking.
for so
In the
long.
weeds. You've been in the
weeds, and
Yeah.
it looks so refreshing to do something fun and completely different and somewhat competitive. Although I don't love
The competition
the
aspect of
competition
it.
as
Yeah,
much.
me neither.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I was
right.
competing with him about not,
yeah.
not competing.
The whole time.
But
Even here, best
I applied
costume.
for season 3. He actually recommended me, and I went through the entire. The entire thing. I actually had to do a video, which was a little different. I had people throw me watermelons. So I went to Chinatown and bought a bunch of stuff. So
Yeah.
I filleted a huge Chilean sea bass with a samurai sword. I had people throwing watermelons on my video.
Fruit Ninja.
Oh my
And
god, I should show you
Fruit
me
Ninja.
cutting donuts with my sword.
Oh really?
Oh, wow.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
we gotta check
It's
that
You should
out.
bring that sword out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want
But
to.
I actually got refused
Insert
on
that
season 3.
photo here.
Yeah. Season 3, I didn't get I didn't get picked.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh.
get
I
picked
didn't get
for
picked.
2 until
And
the last minute. Yeah.
and then I emailed Andy Cohen and I was like, your show's gonna go down in flames. you made the worst choice of your
Biggest
life.
blunder.
And I was like, no, send. And then 7 months later, I got a reply back to that
so
email.
young Spike.
From
I
Andy
mean, you
Cohen.
literally
Yeah,
said-
Right.
I said I got a reply back to that email from Andy, and he's like, "Hey, really loved your first video. Would you go through the process again for season 4?" And I was like, I guess so.
They
Oh,
called
that's
me.
so
They
cool.
called
I
me
forget who was
2
season
days
3. Who was
before
season 3?
we started filming,
Shut up.
and they were like, "Oh, remember that show, Top Chef or whatever? Did you still want to do it or whatever?" And I was like, "Yeah, I still want to do it. When do you guys need me?" And they're like, "The day after tomorrow." And so I guess somebody didn't pass their psych eval or something, and I was the relief person. So then
Again.
they called me last minute.
Again, always,
fluffers.
always the fluffer.
We all have our own genius.
And then,
That's your.
and then I
genius.
slid in there, and then ended up getting becoming the runner-up. So sometimes it is a blessing in disguise. This little
Marcel,
silver lining.
this one awkwardly looks like you behind.
What's that?
My
Oh,
friends.
this one over
Yeah,
here.
that
With
one.
the
I think
mustache?
yeah,
with the
they're so
mustache,
cute.
yeah.
So there you go.
So what else happens here after midnight?
Well,
Madame.
well, this is so funny because it's called after midnight, but obviously this is more like the morning after.
Yes.
This is the earliest recording.
Dawn
of the podcast.
Patrol,
Yeah. They're
Daybreakers.
6:30
Marcel and I
in the
have to
morning.
go
Daybreakers.
surf.
They're gonna
so-
go surf.
We got the
this
harbor
morning.
right here.
Yeah, so cool. So before you guys did Top Chef, obviously, like you're
Yeah.
saying, you grew up in the industry. How did you know? I always talk about sustainability in this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you've sustained, it seems like, the passion for food and in this industry. Like, what do you do, or what is there anything that you would tell somebody who's just coming into the industry? Like, okay, because it's a tough.
It's a tough
Yeah,
industry.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
Real tough.
Yeah.
Real tough.
There's a couple things there. I mean, one, I think what has sustained it for me personally, and I think the same that Marcel will agree with this because we've done a lot of this together, is I have a passion for travel. I have a passion for culture. I have a passion for food in a global aspect, right?
Yeah.
So, this industry, if you cook, you really get to apply yourself in travel if you can, and you can really grab a job anywhere you want in the world if you know how to cook, right? If
Yeah.
you're in one kitchen or the next, it's not really that different, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's been the traveling, being able to see so much of the world, and being part of food festivals, and just that part of me has sustained it because if you don't figure out how to mix that into your everyday, you get taxed.
Yeah.
You're gonna get burnt out. You know what I mean? It's tough. You know this. You ran a business for a very long time
Exactly.
on a remote island, and you know what the grind's like,
Yeah,
right? So
it gets kind of monotonous even if you love it. Right?
yeah,
So that's
even if you
why-
love it. So it's a people business. So you have to really enjoy people
Yeah.
and being out there. So I think that for me,
Yeah.
that's kind of
100%. I mean, I think there's, I agree, that's a big part of it. But also, I think, there's a lot to unpack there. It's I think it's important to take those breaks, and I think that travel provides that sometimes, being able to go into, I mean, that's what got me into cooking in the first place, was traveling. It was my, I would say the influence from my mother's, but it was that first trip to Europe where I was just like blown away by, all the different cultures, how the food was so distinctively different in each area. And it was just such a big part of everybody's, life over there. And
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the light is shining so perfectly in your face. He's such a good-looking guy.
Yeah, I know.
Look at this
God.
in the morning. This
That's
guy.
Am I good?
He woke up looking like
How
this.
is this possible?
Yeah.
Vigneron.
I gotta get. I'm
I
gonna
have
get
to put
these lights.
mascara on to look away.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
look
I look
out.
so Asian.
Wow. All right, continue. I'm sorry.
It's
Sorry.
but so it was just traveling, and and then also just realizing that cooking was what I loved doing. You know what I mean? I was just like, it challenges every single sense. You know what I mean? You got to use, it's physically challenging. You got to be creative. You got to, do all these.
Totally.
It requires every sense. It's like the only occupation that you have to like touch, taste, smell, see. Like it involves every sense. And so I've always enjoyed that, but taking breaks, I think, is important, like listening to your body. And like sometimes, you can get burnt out at a job and just listening to yourself. And even if you don't know like what you're gonna do or like how you're gonna pay rent or whatever, sometimes I would just leave that job and just go find a different job, because it's like you're saying, everybody eats everywhere all the time. And like, knowing that you can go, pretty much you can work somewhere else, and that you're not like a slave to that particular restaurant, because sometimes it can feel that way, and so that's another thing is, working for, good people. And I think we've both been fortunate to have great mentors and really to get that opportunity to travel. But I think the travel was for sure a big one. But it's just like anything else where it's almost just more work, right? You almost have to just work through it. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the answer to like
a mental vacation according to your trip.
Exactly. And it's, I go back to what, Roy
Restaurant business is a
Yamaguchi.
lifestyle. It's not like it's not just work.
It's not a job.
It's not a 9 to 5 job.
Exactly.
It's like the way you live.
Yeah.
It's
true. It sounds corny to say that to people who don't get it, but it's like, it really is. It's like that love that you're talking about, and the way you connect. For me, it's the way I've been able to connect with the community through food. It's really pretty amazing.
Exactly. I mean, it's kind of, so Spike and I, we were out here in Hawaii, and we've been fortunate enough to come out like every year for almost like 13, 14, 15 years now.
I was going to ask about
Hawaii
that.
food and wine.
And so, it's
Every
like
year.
fostering those, relationships and those communities, and, being able to even still work, right? So it's like, for me, this is like it's like a mental vacation, but it's a working vacation, right? So like, come out here and have, found a way to still get to like take a break.
That says mental vacation.
It totally says mental
take a
vacation.
break.
It's like you knew.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Awesome.
To be able to take breaks, right?
Yeah.
But to still work through the breaks. You know what I mean? And like, so
Absolutely.
it's like, yesterday I think was our first day off. We did our last events, to have a couple events, one each week, since we've been here in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And and
we're always
getting
cooking.
those.
We always end up in the kitchen anyways.
I know,
to
even
work
if
or
we're not working.
Yeah. Like,
Love
there's a
feeding
dinner tonight.
Yeah.
We love
Will you
feeding.
be there tonight?
Love
Yeah.
feeding people. So
Okay,
yeah, of course.
So
We're gonna
you've
do
been coming-
another episode of the podcast, Chef's House.
This is
We're
the
gonna
Really
after
at midnight.
hours. That's
Yeah.
the real after hours.
Yeah.
We're gonna need taste-o-vision for that one. Scratch and sniff or something on the TV or
Yeah,
the
we
computer.
should. Oh my god, that'd be so much fun. And Coolest said I could wear whatever I want, because I've been so bored wearing
Cool.
what shirt he gave me, because he's
Yeah.
like, people can't work around you wearing what you're wearing, because I go in there wearing this tank top, which is like nothing. It's
Right.
hot,
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's like
it is a hot
down
kitchen.
here, and it's
Yeah.
like, and you don't wear a bra. Like, chef, I'm completely tattooed. Like, I don't need to wear anything.
Yeah.
Technically
Yeah.
speaking. But anyways, it made me wear that boring
Chef
T-shirt
coat.
that says McKenna on it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
and the apron, I only wore it so that's my
They do
bra.
have nice swag though. That hat
Different-
Aspire.
Yeah, right.
Different,
Their clothing is
Yes,
like
yeah.
it's like great.
And
different
the
rules
apron.
at chef's dinner parties. Okay,
Yeah.
it's not cool. It's just ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
You hear that, Coolest?
he's gonna hear this, so he knows.
Yeah,
now.
definitely gonna hear this.
So you've been coming to Maui every year, is that?
Yeah, we've been.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my background.
all the
we-
islands, really.
We've been, I've been friends with Chris for ever from
Yeah.
Bouchon.
Yeah.
So when I actually
Yeah, so we go way back. You
when
guys.
I got kicked off of Iron Chef the first time round, on first episode, which was traumatizing.
Not when I booted you. That other time. Not next
no.
Iron Chef.
Marco Samuelson this time, a real chef.
A real chef.
It really
fluffer chef.
it really hurt me.
Marcus.
And so, what are you gonna? Don't even talk. Marcus. Marcus.
Yeah, remember if we don't say it on camera, it didn't happen.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So when I, I got mad. I got really mad.
love you,
So I
Marcus.
was like, you guys fly me to Maui. You know.
I like that demand.
Because I took like six.
so mad.
I took six
Take it to Maui.
6 weeks off of us, of work, and they're like, yeah, we'll fly you back anywhere you want to go. We're so sorry. So I flew here, and Chris put me up at his hotel, and I walked in, and the first magazine I saw was the chairman that had just kicked me off. He was like on the cover of the luxury magazine.
Mark just the Coast, right?
Yeah, that was
I
like
love Mark.
all over.
Yeah.
And he literally had just kicked me off like 48 hours. He's like, what? I was like,
It's so funny. I see the chairman everywhere. Like he'll be on a plane and he'll just be in like first class or whatever, and then he'll put like sunglasses on, a hat on, and then he'll like kind of like turn around and look over at me, and he'll go
and
like
take a bite of pepper.
Yeah.
He'll be like, Marcel, it's the
After he does his
it's the chairman.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, Mark, what's up? And he's like, and then he just like
We should
backflips off the
start
plane.
that.
You know,
We should
he's
start
like,
a
"It's the
viral
chairman."
campaign where we just get everyone to bite into peppers. Like,
I think the apple is a good
as long
transition.
as we don't have to do the somersaults and stuff like that.
Yeah,
'cause I don't think that's easy.
The apple is. I can take a bite out of an apple.
you can do those, can't you? You can.
I
do
mean,
some
like
summer
my
salts.
version of
You
it.
do a round
Yeah,
off,
sure.
you
Not
know.
quite as like.
But it was funny because Spike and I actually figured this out back in the day, where we could be each other's sous chefs and we could have our
killed it.
traveling companion with us. So I originally started coming out here for Dolphin Days. So it was like on the Big Island. So I was doing the Dolphin Days on the Big Island before they even started the Food and Wine Festival. And then when they started the Food and Wine Festival, we were on Oahu, and then we did an event out here on Maui,
Yeah.
right? And then
So
we've done some on the Big Island.
sue him,
Yes.
and
sue him.
I would relieve him.
Yeah, he was
when
my
he needed
fluffer.
it to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Everybody
he
needs
would
a
relieve,
relief.
and then he would
Lot of
relieve,
stamina.
and then he
Lot
would
of
relieve me
stamina.
on other. So yeah, it was
I
actually
love your
a pretty great little game.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
In
And-
Bali, he caught
and
Bali
Indonesia.
belly.
Yeah.
Which was
By
that was
storm. Did you go
oh my
with
God.
him?
I took
Yeah.
him to Jakarta.
So you got to see how famous he is.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Bali.
He was
Oh,
already.
oh my
You
God.
were in Paris at the time.
I
though,
became
or
famous
something.
because he was so famous.
I was like, Roy and Denise. I was like, I have this incredible sous chef. Like, maybe he should be on the roster next year.
True.
You know.
That's fun.
And it just you took me to the White House. I mean, we
Oh,
did the
yeah.
same,
That's-
he was like,
yeah,
oh, you
yeah.
gotta check
yeah,
out this.
we've done a good
this
job of that.
Obama White House, just so.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, we're
Just
gonna
to
make sure
clarify.
who you cooked for.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Just saying. It's so funny because when I did the Donut Showdown, the time the night it aired was the night Trump won, and nobody watched my show.
Oh really?
But it's still available. We can still watch it,
Yeah,
though,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I mean, there's YouTube for that, but-
Clickbait.
Time
Good
slots
bait,
are
that's right.
Time slots are very important.
Yeah, I was so pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where can we find that show?
Well, you can find it on YouTube for sure, but there's a link on my website, I forgot, madamedonut.com, but also on my my Facebook account. But
There you go.
I'm working on all of my links. Okay, I just figured out how to do like the tree. What's the
I have
tree link?
no
Oh,
clue
yeah,
what
yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
I know. Anyway, so
You got people.
I'm
So
not
you
a
are way
technical-
ahead of me.
Yeah.
Hey, you can keep that, chef.
Oh.
Yeah, it looked good on you. So
There we
yeah,
go. I'm
Exactly.
gonna-
I want
I thought
to
you were
model
like
that.
were rolling a big fat joint when you put this
Oh.
out. I was like, what
I
is
want to save those
I
papers
know.
for
What is
later,
that?
chef.
Ah, damn it! I should have gotten that ready for you. But what are your favorite
Oh, yeah.
things to do here on Maui, other than obviously surfing? You're gonna go surfing.
Oh yeah, so we love surfing. We love coming by your shop for donuts.
Hanging with
Yes,
people.
they do eat donuts.
And hanging with you.
Water fights.
What if I have my other gun?
Spray
God
me.
damn it!
Spray
Where's
me.
my gun? I want to fight back.
So, waterfalls
Waterfalls.
come to mind for
Waterfalls,
some
yeah.
reason. I don't know.
Sea
I don't know.
turtles.
Sea
Yeah. Oh wait,
turtles,
we already went over
Yeah.
surfing. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Surfing
You know, I
sea
love
turtles.
going to
Bamboo rainforest.
Makawao.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
Yeah.
cool little town.
Cool little
We
town.
go to Hana.
I love a
Love
pumpkin.
We
Hana.
got like over the years we have our little
Ho'okipa.
spots,
Go
our
check
little
out
local
Paia.
spots.
Yeah.
Olelale, it's a great waterfall.
Yeah,
do
yeah.
you go?
Yeah, I mean we've gone together. I
Yeah, I
think
think we got together
yeah.
a long time ago.
Long time.
But
Yeah.
great waterfall. I mean, what haven't we done that we should do? You tell us. Like, what's the new?
Haleakala is
once a
pretty
year.
pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, camping up there or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm a
done-
big hiker, so I always just go up the mountains.
Yeah.
God,
What's your favorite thing to do?
honestly, lately, because I've been working a lot, it's if I could sneak in my 2 hikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where do you hike?
I go to the Cross, which
Okay.
is a short hike, but it's like
Steep,
vertical.
yeah.
It's like it's 1.9 miles or something.
Wow, that's just straight
but
up,
like,
yeah.
it's never easy. I've been hiking it once or twice a week for the last, I don't know, 5 years, and it's never easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
that's why I love it. And it's close by, so it's like,
Boom.
Nice.
yeah.
But
and-
whatever you're doing, it's working. You know.
Yeah. I mean,
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thanks.
Which way is the trail? Is the trail that way?
You're talking to me,
Or
right?
is it
You
that
Are
way?
you talking to me? Oh.
I love it. But so again, going back to Maui, because that is part of what
Yes.
I talk about in the show, is like I had Maui's Visitors Bureau as a guest here, and they of course promote responsible tourism a lot. So you guys travel a lot. So
Yes.
what do you feel like you do whenever you go somewhere where you feel like, you know, at least like in a way giving back, or at least respecting the land, and you know, I feel like that's
Oh
something
yeah,
that I always-
yeah. Well, I mean,
promote.
supporting your local farmers. I mean, like
Yeah.
the one really cool thing about driving throughout Maui, whether you're doing the road to Hana or you're going on somewhere, there's all these small little stands with local harvesters, right? They may be making smoothies or they may be selling their honey.
Yeah.
So for one, I love when I can to do that.
Yeah.
Support the economy.
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
the most awesome farmers market, which I know you know, on Saturday
Yeah.
in Kula.
I mean, you're gonna cook anyways, might
Yeah.
as well, right?
Go there.
So
Yep.
so that's really cool. You know, pick up after yourself on the island. If
Yeah.
you're taking these waterfall hikes, don't leave your plastics behind, and leave little peace offerings. You know, wrap the rock with a leaf. You know,
with the tea
everywhere
leaf.
just. But really, like I love visiting the farms. I love visiting the local breweries, and you know, it's nice to support
Yeah.
locality when
And,
you can.
and always look left and right. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously.
Don't drive like an
And throw the
asshole.
shop up.
Don't drive like
Yeah.
an asshole.
Don't drop in
Guys,
on
don't come down here and rent
Don't
those
drop
dumb
in on
Mustangs.
them. Yep.
Oh my God, you
And-
should
and
smack
don't-
each other
Rent
down.
those dumb Mustangs and
I always
drive
get a
and
Jeep.
drive around town.
I always get a Jeep. I don't know who he's pointing
Alright.
at. I always get a
Alright.
Jeep.
That was that one time.
Who did it? Did you get
I never got a Mustang. No.
Did you?
This is how
Oh,
Marcel, this is how
See,
Marcel and I
rumors
call each
get
other
started.
out secretly. This
That's
guy.
how
over
rumors
here.
get started.
That's how you point.
No
Oh,
way.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love
we
it.
point secretly with that guy.
Okay, well, I don't want to keep you
Malarkey.
from.
But
from
so
No,
serving.
no.
And
yeah.
the last thing I would say is we always like to do a little like cookout for the locals. You know, I think every time we come here, whether it's the festival
Yeah, we just cook for
or
the.
you know just doing collaboration dinners with our local chef friends and stuff like that. But
Yeah, we're
going
good
out to
friends
eat
with
is by
Matt
far
Miola,
the
you know the Miolas and Lily over there,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we go do like a
little house parties.
little house party over there and cook. And,
You know. And just it's so fun to work with all the local ingredients.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember one time we were on the northeast
it's our language
side.
of love. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
We were
What
on the
is your
north.
favorite
We were on the
local-
northeast side of Maui one time, and we were driving through this little forest, and we stopped at that farm stand, and they had, was it like a momi apple or something, or like some wax jambu?
No,
I remember like
talking
Santo,
about the-
like
There's
there's
mountain
all
apples
these like I
and-
love coming through and just finding all these crazy ingredients.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even that tropical like the rainforest or the farm that we used to go to on Oahu, was it Frankie's Nursery?
Oh yeah,
Like,
Frank's Nursery.
yeah, and they have, like-
oh yeah, tropical fruit farm.
Yeah.
Like has
Yeah,
like
exotic fruit
incredible
farm. Oh,
like
yeah.
things that berries that you can eat and like
The
you
one
know,
way,
like,
like the one
la-
way we
like-
can give back, and I'm sure you
It's-
feel similar, is by cooking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah,
like we're so lucky to be able to like be here, surf the waves
Yeah.
of the island, and like go do these waterfall hikes. So cooking is kind of what we rely on to kind of just
and
give
and I
back.
think
Yeah.
there's a cool like collaborative thing that happens like with the chefs where we're all
Absolutely.
like together and there's
Yeah.
like a nice little communitas between everybody and we're all
Mhm.
we're all making our own dishes, but I think we still have this like mutual respect where it's like, oh, what are you cooking? Oh, what did
Yeah.
you make? And like it's like supportive of each other
Yeah.
and when somebody does something cool, it's like, wow, like how'd
Mm.
you do that? That's such a cool dish. And so I do think there's a little like synergy I think that happens there is that where we all
I think
kind of
family meal is such a.
we get a little
like,
You were
inspiration,
cooking with
I
Ming
think.
the other day, right?
You know?
Yeah, I was with Ming.
How was
Yeah,
it going over there?
Oh, he was.
He's
He
funny.
was in a fun mode.
He is a funny man. Big fan. Big
Good thing
fan.
his wife was standing there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Keep him in check.
Keep it
Bing's
track.
Bings.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Bings,
actually really
Bings.
interesting. I mean, I've been watching him since you know, I mean, he had this old like show.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was,
Blue
you know,
Ginger,
yeah.
you know, like
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
no, he was fun.
classic.
He was fun. That was a great event. And you know, with all the dancers and the
Oh,
my
yeah.
god, he
Yeah.
was definitely like calling out these dancers like everyone. I was just like, oh my god.
Really? Oh my
He
god.
was in a good mood. Everybody seems to be in like a funny mood
That's-
that day
that's
or that
fun.
evening, but
That's
it was
fun.
good. I don't. Before we part ways, because I know you guys gotta catch some waves. Any?
Are you coming to serve with us?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to go visit a friend who's just opening his brunch this morning.
Oh,
there you go.
Eatery.
Cool.
If you guys are hungry later, I'll text you.
Yeah, I
where
think we're
he
going to
is.
be at Paella later, right?
Oh, you've been paid.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll check it out because my friend.
Oh, it's in Paella or no?
No,
Oh,
it's,
where you
he's
gonna
here
be?
in Wailuku.
Oh, Wailuku.
Maui Fresh Treatery. He's actually been a guest here as well, chef. He's starting his brunch.
Oh,
thing
nice.
too, so
Oh,
give him a
nice.
little
That's
support.
cool.
Definitely
You know
got
how
a
it is. Like
brunch.
we were
Yeah.
saying, you know, we're so collaborative and we're
Right.
always
We should
supporting each
go
other.
check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should
Yeah,
brunch
he was
it up.
on Food Network too.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Do you have a batch of donuts going? It smells amazing. in here all of a
well,
sudden.
this place, I actually always smell
Wow.
like donuts. If I
Yeah,
don't smell
is-
like
is
donuts,
that- is that you?
start
It's-
thinking that
Wow.
like, oh my god, like it's an
Amazing.
imposter. You know, I always smell like donuts. It's ridiculous.
great.
I
Yeah.
should put that in a bottle.
Yeah.
And I also
Good.
smell like smoke from
You
last
need,
night.
you
from
need
cooking.
donut. Eau de donut.
Yeah.
It's a good combo.
Oh,
I like
Oh, the
eau de
donuts.
Oh, yeah, I mean, since I already do all the.
Pour Holmes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is creme
Yeah.
brulee. This is,
I love it.
The creme de
I
la
should.
creme.
I
this
should.
is lilikoi.
I should. But any.
Someone should do this.
So it's the
I
mac-
should, and
the
you will be
macnut.
me.
This
I
should be
should.
you.
I
Yeah.
should. I always feel like there's no
It's the
real
chantilly
representative
lace.
of the donuts.
Smell.
You know?
And
but like,
donut
I mean,
smell is a
a
good
person
smell.
that's like speaking, like the
Right.
ambassador of
Yeah.
donuts. I'm taking on the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It smells great. I would definitely am.
I
And I
mean,
think there's
like
a lot of
hanging out.
combinations between like there's like you can do it there with the pastries and
oil there? You
no,
have
I
beard
actually
oil?
don't do any
Oh,
oils.
So just naturally.
It's just
shiny.
natural
Look at
pH.
this.
It's really
pH
nice.
Look at
balance.
this.
I feel like
I'm just around
everybody-
such sexy people
It's the
here.
light.
It's
Like,
because
look
of
at
the
this.
humidity.
I just feel like
Yeah.
It's the
just Joe
humidity,
Schmo.
like makes
Yeah.
your hair like
Glows.
nice and
I will say that there's something about Hawaii where it's just like
No one said anything
feel
about
like
me yet. So
you look dynamite.
Oh, thank you guys.
I mean,
I think you just gotta grow.
Thank you guys.
And
You're
then
gonna grow it more. I
Is
feel
there
like
a little
everybody's
more?
like-
Is there a little dew outside? Because it's just like there's just like a little
Stop it.
like spritz. It just looks so
You do have
fresh.
that-
Stop
Wow.
it, stop it. I might have just
I
splashed
think
a little
you
water
gotta
on my
let your
face
hair
before
down.
the
You gotta
pod.
let your hair down.
You know, just a little.
Okay, let me just do
You-
a cheat sheet here if I wrote anything.
Ooh.
Oh, somebody had made asked me or told me about something that happened after you left Top Chef. Like you were flying out of New York or something, and something happened about your knives or
Oh my
whatever. I want to hear that story.
Who told you this?
Oh my gosh, one of the chefs last night.
Oh my god.
Because I told them
Actually,
that you're gonna
yeah, I
be here.
got kicked off of Top Chef. I sequestered with Marcel, sequestered, and we partied all over New York City. And so basically, because we were just completely disorganized, and I must have just thrown my knives into my,
this. I
guess
I just threw my knives in my backpack.
From the night before,
Like
sometimes we
I
gotta.
can't carry that in
Sometimes
public,
when you
know?
catch a plane, you just gotta catch a plane.
Yeah,
you don't remember.
and like you don't
it's
know
like-
what's happening.
You just
so
like
I get to
throw the bag in the taxi
I
to
get
the airport.
Yeah, to the airport. So I get to the airport.
Were you smoking at the time?
Yeah, maybe.
Or you're still drunk from the night.
Oh,
before.
definitely.
Combo.
It's
All
not
the
even a
above.
hangover. It's not a hangover.
Yeah. So I get to the airport and just, check my bag. I got my backpack. I go through security.
What shirt did you have on that day?
I had a Miles Davis shirt.
Miles Davis.
Yeah, it was
There it is.
big Miles Davis was like basically, that iconic album photo of him like in the ring, like just naked kind of, right? Big Miles Davis shirt. So I go through security, I grab my backpack, and I'm hungry, so I go eat. I have something to eat, I grab a beer, and then while I'm in the restaurant, the airport goes down on like code orange alert, right? All flights are ground. Everyone is supposed to shelter where they are. They are and not
shelter.
move. Like shelter where they are. Like they shouldn't leave. Like you
Yeah.
can't be walking anywhere.
Didn't you fall asleep though and wake up to this?
No, not yet. No. It gets better. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This is kind of
Yeah.
nuts. And then then it's on the news, and all of a sudden, they're like, all right, everyone, please report back to their gates.
Yeah.
Like everyone go to gates now, right?
How long was that sheltering, like, stay in place?
It's about 35 minutes, 40
Oh,
minutes, right?
Shit. Many flights.
And
Crazy.
so then I walk to the gate, and as I'm finally walking to the gate, it's the first time I'm seeing what's happening. It's like there's suitcases all opened up, like at every gate, and things are just getting searched. Like every person is basically getting searched. So I get to my gate, I'm like,
what are you thinking at the time?
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So, and I'm tired, right? Because we've been partying all night. So I'm
And
like,
you have no idea that it's you.
I have no idea. So I go and I sit down and I fall asleep for an hour, right? And then,
it sounds like Spike, because we've fallen asleep in a lot of airports.
Yeah.
We missed international flights in Dubai.
Oh yeah, we definitely have. And
what time is it? Where am I?
I basically
Where
wake
are
up.
we?
I wake up and I'm like, man, this is still going on. So I decide to walk back to the head of security because there's one last place open where I can get maybe like a water and maybe just whatever. So I walk all the way back, and I'm the only one in this massive hallway walking all the way back. I go get my water and whatever, and I start walking back towards the gate finally. And as I'm walking, there's like these 3 people, 2 guys in a suit,
Get on the ground.
suits, and an officer in the middle of the hallway. And I walk past them, and one guy turns around, and the officer goes, hey, you're not, that guy from Top Chef, are you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I go,
Yeah.
oh, anytime Marcel and I get called out, like we're like,
as a matter of fact.
wait, okay, yeah, like want to get photo.
You want a photo?
I was like, this guy must want a photo.
Give me your camera.
Yeah, so
selfie, get full selfie.
Ready?
yeah.
And you want a double shaka?
Yeah. And by that time, by the way, my Miles Davis shirt is underneath my sweatshirt because
so
I
they
got
can't
all
see
cozy
it.
for
Yeah.
my
Right.
nap. Right.
Oh my
So I go walk up to the guy, and I'm like totally anticipating a photo to be taken. Right? Totally anticipating a photo to be taken. And he goes, sir, you wouldn't happen to be traveling with any knives?
Yeah.
And I go,
No.
Oh no. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
yes.
maybe.
I was like, I was like, literally.
I checked them.
No. I was like, yeah, but I always check my knives. And they're like, oh, okay. He's like, all right, well, and he reaches in his back pocket and he pulls out this paper and he's like, well, do you happen to know who this person is? Right? And it's literally, it's a picture of me with my Miles Davis shirt, right? Grabbing my bag like this.
Oh my god!
You can't see the face.
Like, you can't
Doing a
see
dab
my
or
face.
whatever the kids call it.
All you can see is my Miles Davis shirt, and it's like basically, and I'm looking at the picture, and I'm like why is my face?
He's carrying a photo of you
yeah,
around the airport.
It's like professional terrorist. Just
you know who this is?
Right? And I'm like, what? And
you had to play that big beard at the time too.
And it goes.
Spike, when he comes back from Greece, he gets like real dark sometimes.
Yeah, totally. And I
just lets the hair grow out.
I just let the hair.
You had
grow out.
dreadlocks for a while too.
Oh,
Might
yeah.
have been around
What?
the
I
dreadlock
didn't
time.
see that.
And I drop my bag and I take 2 steps back. And I'm like, oh my god, officer, I am so sorry. I was like, I am traveling with every knife that I owned, and I basically, this is so good that that's here. This is here because so basically he goes and I open up my bag and sure enough it's my chef, my cleaver, my paring knife, my slicer, my fish knife. It's all got garlic and parsley and like none of them are clean because I just threw them in my bag.
When you packed your knives.
Yeah, pack my knives and went.
Sometimes you gotta go.
I literally pack my knives and then he
them.
folds out another picture and photos my bag, like a picture of my bag going
And
through.
there's just all the knives.
And it's like, dude, it looks like like Dexter is driving. It's like all the knives are profiled. I'm like, how the fuck did this get through?
Yeah.
And he's
How did that
like,
get through?
there's a secondary room where
they watch it again.
they watch it again, and it must come by the screen. Imagine the person's face that saw the secondary one.
Yeah.
No, of course it's like somebody definitely got fired that day.
Yeah.
How do they let a guy like me just full of nuts?
Yeah.
I mean.
Like that's blatantly.
Yeah.
You're not looking, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah, so
crazy.
they, my friend, and
Were
then,
they ceramic knives?
so I had to give up all my knives or like miss my flight. So
Did they ship that back to you then?
they didn't. I had to go back to JFK and go back and check them all out like months later.
Yeah.
When I finally got there, and it's funny because when I finally got it like in line without my knives, everyone was murmuring, "Who the fuck is?" Like what was getting around like, and I was like, "All right,
No selfies. No
Yeah.
pictures. No
I think you
pictures.
probably
Charlie,
just
my
joined.
manager, he's like, "You're on the news."
Oh my god, that's so
You gotta just join into the. I'm sure you just joined in the fun. You're like,
Yeah.
some guy. I think it was Marcel from Top Chef.
just, yeah.
Marcel
I
roofied
can't
me,
believe that
and
guy.
The story is Marcel roofied me, then relieved me, and sent me to the airport with my knives.
He took his job seriously.
yeah.
I did drop you off.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
So yeah,
That's-
I've never shared that story live before, so thank you for asking that one.
So,
It's a good one.
TSA, keep an eye out for this.
Yeah,
Yes.
oh my god, can't trust this guy traveling. For somebody
Yeah.
who's been traveling all the time.
Never
That's so
travel
funny.
with my knives.
Although there
anymore.
was a couple times we used to travel with that thermal immersion circulator, like all through Bali, and I remember I just had this circulator in my bag, which
Oh,
we
I'm
got
I'm
a lot
sorry.
of looks.
We're ending it on my story.
You were there.
I'm
It was-
sorry.
you were
I'm
there.
sorry. We're ending it on,
You were
on
there.
the one story,
You were
not
there.
emergency circulator story, right? Like we were.
Oh,
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
sure.
no,
I want to hear about the circulator because I do have a circulator. Do I have to travel with it?
Yeah,
Or
so
shouldn't I?
we just don't say the B word, but they thought it was like a bomb, for sure every time. And I was like, no, it's a hot tub for food. I
Yeah.
was like, it's just
Yeah.
because we used to have it
Why
wrapped
do-
up.
why
We
does
we
it
traveled with that thing a lot. Actually.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah.
Do they
Yeah.
think?
had to be
Do they
there.
think it looks like a bomb? I mean, is that?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what
we
the
were
bomb looks like?
always had to
Private
check
load
it.
jacuzzi.
Always had to check it.
Yeah.
That was the move. That was the move. But I've definitely snuck
You
on a
Marcel's
couple
had
knives.
toys over the years because he's like very
You're the astronomer. Sorry, gastronomer.
gastronomer, fluffer extraordinaire, and
He likes his tools.
and
his
you never
toys.
know. It could be sex tools,
Yeah.
immersion circulators in his bag. He's
Could
got
be a buck knife.
he's got it all. He's
It's
got
like
all.
I feel like a chef so many times I just like grab my bag and for sure it's just got like a little
Yeah.
Swiss
Toy.
knife in there or something like that.
there actually is a liquid nitrogen tank here for you, right?
I do
Yep.
have a doer, so like.
Ooh.
Spike stopped traveling with his knives, I think a couple years ago.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still
yeah.
I still travel
Who
with
did?
mine,
Yeah, yeah.
Who
and I
did?
can see.
The
I can
only
see
knife
why.
I travel with.
I just wanted to make
is
sure we
this
bring
one,
it.
guys.
I just want to make sure we bring it back to Spike's story.
Style it now.
So Spike doesn't actually travel with knives anymore.
Yeah.
He uses the ones at the hotel.
So
So I
funny.
think
I had
for
to
the-
like cheat because I
Just
remember.
for the
'cause I
best.
knew I was supposed to ask a question.
There was- yeah.
Okay, but we're gonna end with this question for the
Yeah.
both of you.
Yes.
Why do you think you did not win Top
Oh.
Chef?
Well, clearly there's a contract, and you don't want to be part of that contract.
Okay,
so
okay.
I took it as far as I needed to go, and then I said, "Peace, see your scallops, frozen scallops."
But they were in your freezer, chef.
Yeah,
that's-
they were
yeah,
in
that's
your
always-
freezer, chef.
That's played in
And but
replacement.
it's funny. The reason I got kicked off ended up also being my, leading up to the story. That was my most shining moment.
It's not because you
as
weren't.
well in Top Chef.
It's not because you weren't polarizing though, because that's clearly not the case.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you? It's. Are you using something? Like, have you been working out lately?
Thank you.
It just you just
Thank
look
you.
so
I
good.
mean,
I think it's because
I
you're
did-
sitting
I
next
did
to
30
Madame
push-ups.
Midnight.
Yeah.
I think
I
is
did
there
30
a photo?
push-ups
My glow.
Oh,
before.
there it is.
It's,
Yeah,
just-
that's what it is.
It's so strong. I'm getting
Yeah.
it from both ways
Yeah.
here. No, but my
It's like a little
my-
spike sandwich.
My Achilles heel of Top Chef ended up being one of my best moments. Meaning, I got kicked off on a really good episode for frozen scallops.
Yes.
Made some waves. Made
Yep.
some
Yes,
great
you did.
TV.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when they brought me back, because they brought us back for a season, and the first episode was cooked the dish you were kicked off for.
Nice.
I had thought about this dish for years. I was like, what I would have done differently. So when they gave me frozen scallops again for the second time, those motherfucks, when those motherfucks gave me frozen scallops again,
So
I made ceviche out of them with noak cham and a little thing, and we served. And Anthony Bourdain was judging that episode, and he tasted the scallops and quote, he says, he leans back and he looks at the tail.
This guy's got balls.
And he goes, no, he goes, correct me if I'm wrong here, but isn't Spike the craftiest motherfucker to have ever been on
yeah.
Top Chef before? And he ate the scallops, and I won that episode. I was like, ah! It was like retribution. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So that's why I got kicked off. Marcel just got fucking, he got sabotaged basically.
Oh.
That's why you lost.
Yeah,
But
it's
things
tough.
we can't talk
Yeah.
about.
It's tough deal.
Marcel gets
you know?
sabotaged.
Right.
You've lost like how many shows? 7 now? 8?
Probably everyone that's
Yeah.
out there.
How many
Right,
shows?
I've got a judging now.
But you guys are still uninvited.
Still,
I mean, you're still in a
still
Top Chef
competing
family,
for
so
sure.
We
but
call
like,
winning in in life,
Yeah.
losing on shows.
Yeah, and I mean, quite honestly,
Yeah.
Alex Grunchally.
Very resilient, you know.
Yeah,
but
you lost to Alex
Taste
Grunchally
is-
like 10
Taste-
times.
Taste
maybe?
is, she's, you know, she's the Iron Hammer. What do we
Yeah,
used to call her? The
yeah.
Iron Hammer.
but I also
Yeah.
think that, like, I mean, everybody
Taste is-
made it on that show because
know,
they can cook really well. so
Right,
it's
and
not
I
like-
think, you know,
Not true. Not true.
taste
Really?
is
False statement. Yeah.
taste is
Yeah.
very
There's
taste is
people
very
that can't cook on that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Taste is very subjective.
Name a couple.
You know what I mean?
There's
I
a
mean,
couple.
remember
Yeah,
that? So
okay.
there was we were on the season finale of Iron Chef together, Scary Combinations, and that was
We were.
we got a
didn't
perfect
see it.
score on our first dish, which was that hamachi crudo with coffee and avocado.
Yes.
Right, which was kind of unheard of to do that, and we had to do that.
Coffee and
I think it
avocado.
was like the first 5 minutes we had to have that dish up. And then it was just all downhill from there. I
gotta see
but I
that
do
one.
feel
Didn't
like
see
that
that
one,
one.
we
Yeah.
did a little firing squad, you know, that we
Yeah.
stood in front of. But that happens. Sometimes you got to kiss the ring a little bit. You
Yeah.
know, it's
When I lost on Iron Chef, it was against Mark Sampson. We used lake water for our stew.
yeah. That was the first time you lost on Iron Chef. The
Yeah.
second time was with
And
me.
he blamed me
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
And he's, you know.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's
You
more
know.
stylish chef.
Oh my
But
God,
you
he's
only
got
have
the best
to
shoes.
if you wait till
Oh my god! And coming from you, did you just see what you just gloated? oh my god! He's got the best shoes.
It does.
He's got
You
the
know,
best. I was
I
just
think-
reading a luxury magazine, like actually that they put in the plane. I opened it up, and sure enough, it's like Marcus.
Yeah.
And he
It is
draws.
like-
Oh,
it's
yeah.
funny. He draws a lot of his inspiration for the patterns of his clothes from like his ethnic
Yeah, his from
background,
Yeah,
Ethiopian
that
and Swiss, and
Switzerland.
pops of color. So
Yeah.
it actually, he's probably the most stylish chef out there. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Great wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
incredibly well dressed man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
a lot of
is.
Yeah.
style, a lot of flavor, a lot of style.
Yeah,
you know,
a lot of style. And I'm probably the least best dressed.
Yeah, I mean that
Yeah,
is the
a
same
big
shirt
deep
you were
breath,
wearing.
see, like,
He was wearing that same
shoes
shirt
just-
yesterday.
like-
Shoes just
Yeah.
didn't do it for you.
Spike
Yeah, I
actually
mean-
slept.
I'm actually going to work across the street right
Yeah,
afterwards at
Tiffany's.
Tiffany's. I got to wash dishes tonight.
He actually
From 4
slept
to
behind
10.
the dumpster there last night.
Sheldon's just
Uh,
fucking.
he forgot his
wash
wallet
dishes.
in
He
the
just wears,
Jeep,
like,
so he
free
had to
stuff
pay
or,
for
like,
his.
$5 a
Yeah,
you get
I mean, I
discounted,
just wear the
like-
clothes people can give me.
Yeah.
It's true. He actually pays for his dinner
Yeah.
by dishwashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
not a very good dishwasher, so he has to come back and work tonight.
Yeah.
But he does sleep by the stray cats up at the
True.
Well, you
dumpster.
get fed, right?
know?
And
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
feed noodles and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Listen, I did this
They are
podcast for
delicious
donuts.
noodles.
I
so-
know.
That was,
I gave them donuts yesterday.
Master
I
negotiator.
never pay them for like,
Yeah.
I can't afford their talent fee, so just give them donuts.
It's a good deal. It's a great barter. It's
Thank
a great
you.
barter for sure.
Well,
but I
thank
think,
you guys.
yeah, I think everything happens for a reason there, though.
Yeah,
you know?
see, it brought you here.
For sure.
This was the best down patrol we've ever had.
Yeah, see? I
Yeah.
mean, now you're
This
going
is
to be
way
so
better.
energized for
We're
the
not
race,
even
right?
going. We're not even going.
We're going to
This
we're going to
is-
brunch
Yeah,
maybe
we're-
with the end of
we're-
it. When
we're-
when
We
are
should
we
go,
doing
but,
brunch?
I mean, if you're surfing here, literally brunch
It's on
will
the
be
way.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's Chef
We
is
will.
going to be parked here in Moiluco. Right? I want to just give him a little support.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll see you
But yeah.
either at the brunch or dinner,
Yeah,
Afterwards?
Yeah. Either way.
and then I will be on. I will come back on this podcast.
Absolutely. Oh, speaking of giving back cooking wise, usually I teach cooking with something local, and it's always like a surprise, even for me. Like, what do I get this time, or what are we gonna do with it? So next time you come back, let's cook together.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Well,
teach people a few things.
tonight too. I think you should come over to the dinner, and we're gonna probably pick up some ingredients somewhere,
Yeah,
you know,
well,
along the
I'm
way
sure
or
it's more
something.
like
So
play.
do some-
Because tonight is not
do some
really a
cooking.
formal thing. It's just we're just cooking.
Super loose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
Super loose.
That's good. I had
Marcel's-
to semi-behave.
We're just gonna
Marcel's
go
gonna
to the
relieve
farmer's
everybody.
market.
And
Yeah.
we're all gonna
Thank
be
you.
ready to go.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Spike's gonna be my sous chef.
He's gonna have this mask on,
Spike's
relieving
gonna be,
everybody.
I'm gonna need it.
I love that you found.
My eyes are stinging. It's stinging my eyes.
Some people are into that, you know. And I already haven't done. Shit.
Oh, it's so magical. Magical. It's so monaural. So magical.
I actually wore that, and there's another one. Like I had a guest, and we wore like
Oh, I love it.
unicorn outfits
Yeah.
for the podcast.
I hope you don't mind. I
So-
borrowed it.
But I
Alright.
love that you guys found my,
Yeah.
toys, and
Yeah,
I love
for
dressing
sure.
up.
Your
so-
donut holes toys.
Great toys.
You mean you're happy you found all your sex toys?
I penetrated
yeah.
the donut with the unicorn.
Yeah, we
horn.
were really happy we found all the sex toys too.
So
Hey,
what-
especially a professional fluffer.
Yeah, there you go.
What do you do with the holes? I mean, what do you do with the balls? Like when you make a donut, isn't there like a little? What do you do with the balls?
I
You
do
put them
use
back
it-
into the dough.
I I do. Yeah.
Do
I
they make more
like-
donuts? I'm just
Exactly,
curious.
but not donuts. But I make like my cinnamon buns with it. So I use it
Oh,
almost
nice.
like as a biga.
So you turn the balls into your buns.
By the way, I'm glad you answered that with a straight face while he was trying to be
Yeah.
super
I was like-
It's Midnight Madame.
creepy and R-rated about it.
So
what
is
do
that-
you do with your donut
What the-
balls?
Is that
Oh,
is that for the
Oh,
miso?
Yeah, okay.
Hey, we
Okay.
feel them.
And we are out.
And we're out. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. We'll be back next week, Madame After Midnight. Please follow the Madame Donut channel on YouTube and IG at Madame After Midnight. Thank you guys for joining me.
Dawn
Have
Patrol.
fun.
Thank you.
Dawn Patrol. It's like the morning after.
Yeah.
Mwah. Aloha.
Let your crazy come